Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science, broadcasting here in New York. A big hello to anyone and everyone joining us here in person on Zoom, and any of you catching up later on YouTube, Facebook, or any of the platforms. If you were with us since 10:45, since the meditation, thanks for joining us. We share our uplifting message across various platforms, reaching people all over the world at this point. We gather 3 times a week, every Wednesday for our Creative Living series at 7 p.m., same Zoom links. Thursdays, I facilitate our ongoing self-healing class based upon the book You Can Heal Your Life by Louise. Again, Louise was a practitioner, minister here at First Church. And the other thing I'd like to say is everything we do here is done on the basis of a love offering, which that means is there's no charge to you. You are able to support our work in the links you'll see in the chat room and on our social media channels. It's also really helpful to us if you like or subscribe to us on YouTube or share our posts. That helps us tremendously. It helps us spread this message of connection and of love throughout the world. So today we're going to take a look and explore what it is to wake up to the idea that this divine is within you, this divine light, and help us realize that it's in us, operating through us. This light that makes you, you. I'll never forget my first months as a minister, standing before a kind of large group, unsure if my words could touch anyone. Being a minister was a little bit different. One of my early members, it's a long time ago, Mary, she came up and she shook my hand at the end of that morning, and she said that I said something that sparked her with hope. So let's kick things off with a smile to wake up. And some people wake up to the sound of an alarm. I know I do sometimes. Or other times I wake up when my coffee maker, I can smell it, and it's essentially saying, get moving. So who's with me? That first step is a divine nudge, whatever it is. You see, in our teaching and New Thought, waking up is about, it's more than having the caffeine, the coffee, the tea. In our teaching, it's about opening our eyes and opening our heart to the truth around us, opening our soul to the truth that you are a spark of the divine. We say you are an individualization of it. You're an individualization of creative intelligence. And you're here to create a life that's bursting with joy, purpose, and love. Another gem, or as another person says, it's another gem. Every single sunrise is the universe's way of saying, hey, let's try this again with a little more sparkle, a little more love. Today we're going to explore how to spark awake and unleash that divine thing, tapping into it. So today I'm going to introduce you to a few people. I always try to find a few new characters for us to bring the lesson home. A few new people that were sparkling awake. You'll remember a couple of them. Hopefully, they will inspire you or wake you up a little bit in terms of the potential that's within. First up is the first person I want to mention or introduce you to is George Washington Carver. And in case you can't remember who he is or you don't know, he was called the peanut genius who changed the world with a nut. George Washington Carver was born into slavery in Missouri way back in 1864. The thing about him is he was smart. He was brilliant in a lot of ways. He was a botanist with a very curious heart. He grew up in tough times, often hungry, yet his love for learning led him to study plants. And because he learned so much, he was able to help struggling farmers. When I was doing my research for this talk, I heard that he's like Emerson, he's in the woods all the time with nature. And he's in the woods one afternoon feeling connected to life itself. And he's having like revelations, spiritual experiences, feeling the pulse of life in the trees. In communing with the universe, he's asking the universe, why did you make peanuts? That's a curious question. Why did you make the peanut. And apparently Spirit answered him, gave him an answer. And from his question and answer, from his connection, his communing with Source, from that, over 300 inventions came forth around a peanut. And I bet you didn't know that. Anything from butter to paint to soup and even ink. There's a long list. You see, his awakening wasn't just about a food that we all like. It was a thunderbolt of divine creativity that was operating in him, showing that even the humble peanut holds infinite possibilities. You see, that's an example. That's an example of the divine light shining through someone. And that same divine light that shined through Carver shines through every single one of us. Now, if we have the faith, and if we stay with it, that's how it works. Have you ever had a moment where a simple question that's in your heart, on your mind, if you ask it in sincerity, here's the thing I want you to know, is the universe always answers those questions. Usually kind of fast, but it will answer. I mean, I know I have. In those moments, you're flooded with ideas, of course. And that's where, once you sit with those ideas, that's eventually where you need to take inspired action. Every single week, we're giving you suggestions. Usually I'm encouraging people to take a pause or take a series of pauses throughout any day, a pause to connect with Source, which is within you. Take a moment or two to reflect, to journal, or perhaps take an inventory. I mean, you can do it in different ways as long as you do it. Now, Carver's story reminds us that asking even playfully, in other words, you're communing with this divine in you. Ernest Holmes talked about, find me one person who's for something and against nothing, and I will find the Redeemer of my soul. So Carver was communing with life. I'm encouraging you today in this lesson to even playfully commune so you can unlock the divine potential that's within you. Carver did that, even contemplating a peanut, as I already shared. And the thing is to understand the universe is always there within you, and it's always answering. So please take the time to connect and center yourself. Ask, the universe will come and it will answer. So that's my story about Carver. Next, I have somebody who's kind of unexpected, and I think many of you will remember her. I'm going to talk to you next about Lucille Ball. Most of you, you've got to still know her, because even now she's on television. Late at night, turn those channels, you'll see her show is still running. I mean, I know it's been a while. Lucy, we'll call her, was the redheaded queen of comedy. If you're under 50, maybe you don't know her, but I think you will. Imagine a woman from the 1950s who never really left your screen. Lucille Ball, red-haired, wide-eyed, full of physical comedy and fearless timing, has been making people laugh for probably 70 years. Her show, I Love Lucy, still plays in reruns around the world. You've probably seen her somewhere. You might have seen her stomping grapes in a vineyard until she's dripping in juice, or stuffing chocolates into her mouth on a runaway assembly line. But what's often forgotten is how long it took for her to find her spark. Lucy didn't start out as a comedian. In fact, she didn't even think she was funny. She came to Hollywood in her 20s hoping to be a dramatic actress, and nothing quite clicked. The roles she got were small. She wasn't able to support herself. The praise she got was some, but not much. And at one point she said, I'm not funny. She said, what I am is brave. I stay at it. But here's the thing is, she really was funny. She was hilarious, genius level funny. And the kind of funny that rewrote the rules in the entertainment industry. Every major comedian ever since has studied her. They've studied her timing, her fearlessness, and her gift for turning embarrassment into joy. And here's the miracle. She didn't walk away before the spark caught on. She didn't quit before the miracle happened. It wasn't until her late 30s that she finally broke through. But when she did, she changed television forever. So she became the first woman to run a major television studio. She shattered every kind of glass ceiling. She shattered it with a banana peel and a wink. And she did it by finally embracing the very thing that she once doubted. She did it by embracing herself and her ability to bring laughter and joy. She did what we talk about week after week. She stayed the course. She didn't quit before the miracle happened. And maybe that's the message in her story for us today. We don't see ourselves clearly. We don't think we can do many things. We underestimate what's in us because you have within you everything. We dismiss it. We dismiss our gifts, or we compare our gifts to someone else's gifts. You see, artists or seekers or spiritual people are often hard on themselves. Sometimes we focus on what's missing in our lives, and we believe that inner critic, that, like Louise would say, we're always criticizing ourselves, and it doesn't work very well. We believe the inner critic, but the truth is there's nothing missing in you. Have everything you need. You are the whole bit, as Barker would say. The divine spark is there in you, operating through you. It always has been there. Lucille Ball woke up to her light, and when she did, she blazed. She lit the skies. So the question to everyone is, I want to ask you, what if you're closer than you think right now? What if everyone who hears this message, what if you really consider that you're closer than you think to the demonstrations that you really want in your life? What if that spark is already glowing inside you, just waiting for you to notice it, just waiting for you to connect with it? What if it's just there waiting for a bold and joyful yes from you, saying yes to life? So let's follow that spark. We've talked about Carver. We've talked about Lucy. I'm going to take you now from Hollywood. I'm going to take you to ancient Greece, where a single moment of insight changed everything. I'd like you to meet Archimedes. He was a mathematical genius who lived around 250 BC. Now, one day, the king asked him to solve a puzzle. The king wanted him to determine if the royal crown was made of pure gold, but he didn't want him to break the crown. So there he is. He's stepping into his bath when suddenly, splash, the water spilled over the edge. And he had a great realization. And he shouted out a word that I do remember. The word was Eureka, which means I found it. So that's where this word comes from, for me at least. Because he saw an object's weight could be measured by how much water it displaced. So by dunking the crown and comparing it to a block of pure gold, he could tell if the crown had been mixed with cheaper metals. Legend says that he was so completely thrilled that he ran through the streets naked, shouting with joy. So that's a wake-up call. That wake-up moment reminds us divine insights can happen at any time, in any kind of place, even in your bathtub, if you're paying attention. So pay attention. It could happen in your bathtub. Have you ever had an aha moment that made your heart leap? Talk about a splash of holy light. Now, I know I spoke about this other lady about a month or so ago, Clara Barton, but her story is too powerful to hear just once. Let me introduce her just for a moment. She's a teacher who became a superhero of compassion. Born in 1820, I think it was, Massachusetts. She was quiet and devoted to what she was doing. But during the Civil War, in her 40s, she began tending to wounded soldiers on the battlefield. Her hands were trembling as she held a dying child, whispering comfort as he smiled at her. One day, she had a powerful realization. And the realization was that she wanted to organize help for all these disasters, not just during wartime. And you see, that spark that she had caused her to found the American Red Cross. And in 1881, she did that, and bringing aid through floods, fires, and beyond. That's what it looks like when this divine spark, this divine light shines through a willing heart. In fact, that's how the universe works. It works through us when we become open channels. Have you ever felt a call to do something like that or to help someone? Clara's story reminds us that even a quiet soul can awaken and do something that's world-changing. I have another example. This is today. Amelia Earhart, you must remember her. Some of you will anyway. The fearless flyer who soared to new heights. Some of you know her story. She was born in Kansas. She was a social worker, helping folks on the ground until a plane ride she took in 1920 woke her up to her true passion. And as she gazed out on the endless ocean of below, she's up in the airplane, in other words, she's looking at the ocean, glinting like stars. She said, "That moment I flew. I knew I was born to be in the sky." And that realization, that spark, led her to become the first woman to fly across the Atlantic solo in 1932. And she inspired millions of people to chase your dreams. Even when people at the time were saying, "A woman can't fly, she can't do that." That was her divine light shining through. I want to ask you, have you ever had a moment where joy, something happened within you, where joy lit you up and you're really excited about something? Pay attention to those moments, because when it happened with Amelia's awakening reminds us that that single moment or those moments can ignite your divine purpose, even with a few, in her case, a few bumpy landings. So these stories that I have for you today, peanuts, laughs, baths, bandages, and flights, are awe-inspiring proof that the divine light in everyone is waiting to shine. As Ernest Holmes said, "Your subconscious mind is the creative consciousness of all that you are." Again, this is Ernest Holmes. Your subconscious mind is the creative consciousness of all that you are. So the universe is always going to be saying yes to these ideas. Now, each of these folks I mentioned today sparked awake to that truth, and so can you. So you might ask, well, how do I wake up? How do I stay awake? How do we stay awake to this divine light, the best kept secret in the universe, that God in you? How do I stay awake to that? Especially when life feels so tough and so heavy. Maybe you're stuck in traffic. Maybe you're juggling bills. Maybe you have an impossible relationship right now. Or maybe you're just having one of those days where the coffee isn't strong enough. You see, our teaching gives us tools to spark awake and to stay awake no matter what. So I'm going to give you 4 practical ways rooted in religious science to rise and to shine every day. Whether you're with us live on Zoom or watching on YouTube or Facebook or however you're connecting with us, or if you're catching the message later, these 4 things are designed for you. So I'm going to offer you these ideas. And you can feel free to repeat any of the affirmations out loud, or if you're in a space where you can, or just let the words wash over you. The first thing is choose a big vision. Don't cancel yourself out and say, can't do this, I don't deserve to. Choose a big container. Louise Hay's ocean of life metaphor is pure gold. She's asking you, are you approaching the ocean of life with a teacup, expecting a drop of good, or a giant bucket open to a flood of joy, health, and abundance? Okay, spark yourself awake by expecting more. Emerson said, hitch your wagon to the stars, right? Big ideas. And know that you deserve it. And Bill Tolliver would have said, put a demand on consciousness that you deserve this great life. So let's affirm together today. We can say it out loud or we can say it silently in our hearts. I am open to all the good that life offers. Again, I'm open to all the good that life offers. Say this every morning, say it whenever you can, and let that shift the whole day for you. Number 2, challenge yourself to find the divine in every single day. That's what I call practicing the presence. Challenge yourself to see the good, to find the divine in every day. You don't need a mountaintop or you don't need a meditation cushion to find spirit. Sometimes it just shows up when taking a pause. Take those pauses. Sometimes it shows up while you're washing your dishes, folding your laundry, or even taking out the trash. Another little thing I jotted down. Have you ever felt stuck in a conversation, or maybe your work, and there's a conversation that's not going well? If so, you can say to yourself, all is well, I'm at peace right here, right now. You see, you can turn ordinary moments into holy ground. So the next time you're doing something, even rinsing a plate, it could be a mini meditation. Another thing you can do in this process, number 3, is ask playful questions. I gave you examples today, like George Washington Carver with his peanut. You can play with it. You can ask the universe, what's my gift? Where's my spark? And then be sure to pause, because the answer will come. It might come when taking the pause, or it might come out of the blue, it might come in a day or so. It could be a funny coincidence, or it could be a nudge that you get from within. I was once asked this while stuck in traffic, and I got an idea for a Sunday message. Last month, a congregant reported that she asked in prayer, what's my next step? And the following Friday, a new opportunity appeared to her that felt tuned in directly to her question. You see, that's grace in action. Number 4, let go of all the old stuff that's weighing you down. Whatever it is suspect. Whatever you find that's heavy and causing you concern and worry and fear, let go of all that stuff that weighs you down. Ralph Waldo Emerson walked away from rigid dogma to find the truth of his own soul. You can also. Let go again of the old baggage, the old messaging, the old stories, the old dogma, guilt, fear, all of it. Let go of anything that suggests that you're not enough, and please claim something better and bigger. So let's affirm together, I'm one with the infinite and all is well. I am one with the infinite and all is well. Now I'll tell you, it took me a while to really believe that when I said it, because it felt like I was setting down a heavy burden and finally walk through. But I did finally get there. Now, the steps that I gave you are your spiritual toolkit for living awake. I remember sitting with Reverend Cameron, hearing him say, the divine is in you, and it's the hope of your glory, the discovery that it is in you, operating through you. So that's something to realize. That's the great discovery. That's what we've been practicing here, not by attending church, but by waking up to the truth within us. It's like learning to dance with life, one step, one spark, one moment at a time. Ralph Waldo Emerson understood this too. In 1832, he walked away from Harvard Divinity School because he couldn't stomach the idea of God being boxed in by a bunch of doctrine. He started finding the divine in nature, in the trees, in a stream, in the stars overhead. Many years later, he returned to Harvard, not to fit into Harvard, but to speak plainly. To say that the divine is in you. It's in every ordinary moment, every leaf, every breath. He wrote, the invariable mark of wisdom is to see the miraculous in the common. I'll say it again. The invariable mark of wisdom is to see the miraculous in the common. In other words, real wisdom is learning to see the sacred in everyday things. That's the heart of it. Spirit isn't far away. It's in you right now. I remember walking in Central Park one day, and something shifted within me. I felt it as I was there. It was in the trees. It was in the stillness. Something came over me. I stopped, and I thought, I'm part of this whole thing. I'm connected. It's all connected. Last Sunday, for example, someone in our group shared something similar. She was sitting by the Hudson River, just being quiet, when something opened up within her. And she said her heart felt full for the first time in a long time. And just last month during a class, a man named John joined us. And he hadn't spoken to his daughter, he said, in a long time. And he was upset about it. And we did an affirmative prayer together, just took a moment, recognizing the light that's in him and around him. And one evening, he prayed for healing of this situation. And miraculously, or coincidentally, however you might want to say, serendipitously, his daughter called the next day. And they spoke, and they reconnected. Something shifted between them. And later he reported, he said, I felt like something in me was put back together. I don't know how it happened. And he smiled. You see, this is what this teaching is all about. It restores, it renews, it helps us come home to ourselves. This same spark moved through George Washington Carver with his peanuts, through Lucy when she stepped into her light, through Amelia Earhart when she found her place in the sky, and through Clara Barton when she answered the call to serve. And this thing is in you too. You might be thinking, I don't feel very divine today. I'm tired. I'm going through something. I'm not sure I can see the light in me or anything else. And if so, that's okay. This practice, this teaching, this affirmative living isn't about being perfect. It's about remembering. It's about reaching again for the truth. And even if you're not all the way there yet, like Ernest Holmes taught, there is one power, one source, and it's flowing through you always. And if you've lost a little joy, if you've lost a little peace or direction, Spirit is gently reminding you, you can begin again. You can begin again. Every sunrise brings the invitation, but the real power isn't in the clock or the calendar. It's in the moment you stop replaying the past. It's in the moment where you loosen the grip on the old story, when you stop needing to be right or certain, and instead you just show up honestly in the now, in this new moment. That's where your opening will always be found. That's when something new can happen. And here's the thing. You're not off track. You're never off track. You're in the perfect place, perfect timing. You're not behind. Always in the perfect place for something new. Life is always moving forward. It's always moving forward by means of us. And it does so through you. So when you stop trying to control it and allow yourself to be in this wonderful new moment, you start to feel the guidance. You begin to hear what's next and the truth that's been waiting for you. And you can finally receive it. That's when your life begins to open up. That's when you start to demonstrate something bigger. Because life isn't here to punish you. Life wants to evolve you. And it does so by moving through your willingness, one moment at a time. In this community, whether you're with us on Zoom, YouTube, or listening later, we're here to remind each other of that. So there's a call to action. Let's make a small promise today. A promise to bring a little bit more light into the life we live. Nothing grand, just maybe a quiet yes to life. If this message touched you in any way, come join us again. We're here on Sundays and during the week too. We're always gathering, healing, and growing together. And wherever you are, just know this. You are whole. You matter. And you're part of something good. Like Emerson said, hitch your wagon to the stars. Dream big. Expect good. And trust that your life is for you. So let's say it together. I carry my candle to light the world. I carry my candle to light the world. So let that light shine starting today. I'm going to close with an affirmative prayer. I center myself in the presence of that creative intelligence, the divine light that flows through me and through all of you, all of life. This power is love, it's peace, it's joy, and possibility, and it's alive in me now. There is one source, one energy, and I'm not separate from it. I'm one with it. I approach the ocean of life with a big, generous container. I let go of old fears, small thinking, and the belief that I have to do it alone. I remember I'm whole, I'm loved, and I'm an expression of something infinite and good. And I know this for everyone here, whether you're with us on Zoom or watching later, or listening in your own quiet moment. You are waking up to your light. You're healing. You're waking up to your joy and to your next right step. It's already unfolding. The universe supports you, responds to you, and walks with you. With each sunrise, you begin again, clearer, stronger, more alive. I give thanks for this truth. I trust it, and I let it be. And so it is. Thank you, thank you. Thank you all so much for being with us today. Now there's going to be time. There's a moment or two for everyone to share who wants to. Maybe it's a memory, possibly a breakthrough, something that stirred within you, or even a word or phrase that stayed with you. And if this is your first time at First Church, please let us know. We love to welcome you. Your words light up our community. If you're watching later on YouTube, Facebook, please feel free to leave a word or comment. Send us a message with your information. We'll put you on our weekly email. So we love hearing what speaks to you. Now I'm going to turn the cameras over. Know that the spark in you is real. Let it shine. Let it guide you. Let it bless the world. And so it is. Thank you, everybody.